Hello guys, this is Mentor Tooba. I am back with the explanation of another PMP scenario. But before I start off, I would like to show my gratitude to all of you to provide such overwhelming response on our PMP explanation videos. We have received an immense amount of response and feedback and suggestions all across the globe on our PMP videos. And we are very thankful for that. Keep showing your support in the same way. And please do let us know in the comment area that which part of the region you are listening us from. Okay, let's get started with the PMP scenario. The scenario says that a project manager has identified a risk and its possible impact. He notified the sponsor that sufficient budget, schedule, and other resources have been allocated to respond to the risk if it occurs. What risk response strategy did the project manager use? Before I start the explanation, do let us know that which option did you guess for this question. Okay, so the important terminologies. Sufficient budget, schedule, and resources have been allocated to a risk. If it occurs, that is the most important terminology over here. That's the most important key terminology over here. If it occurs, this is going to actually lead you to the right answer, this statement, if it occurs. And the question is asking about the response strategy that most suitably applies over here. Okay, the answer choices that we have over here is mitigate, transfer, avoid, and accept. All these four response strategies belong to the risks which are negative in nature, or the risks which are threats by nature. Starting off with option A, mitigate. Mitigate means that you are reducing the probability and impact of a risk before it occurs in a proactive way, right? So mitigate is a proactive response strategy for a threat. In this question, the statement is clearly mentioning that the sponsor has kept some contingency in the form of budget and schedule and resources in case the risk occurs. So it is a reactive approach. So although the contingencies are kept in a proactive manner, but the contingencies alone or themselves are not preventing the risk. It's not mitigating the risk, right? So this risk is not going to be dealt with the mitigate response strategy, right? Maybe someone would say that how come it is not mitigate? Because we are proactively keeping the contingencies. I just mentioned that you are keeping the contingency, but with that contingency in the form of budget, schedule, and resources, are you reducing the chances or impact of that primary risk which can occur? The answer is no. You are not doing anything to that risk. You are just accepting it. You are just letting it be. And you are saying that if this risk occurs, then we are going to see that how that budget, schedule, and resources would be applied. So A is not the right answer to this question. Let's move to option B. Transfer. Transfer is a response strategy in case of threats which transfer the ownership of the risk to any other person or entity or group, but you are not keeping the risk to yourself. You are transferring it. Transfer is also a proactive strategy to take care of negative risk. However, in this case, the sponsor is, or sponsor or the project manager is not proactively transferring the ownership to any other body. Right? So it's not transfer as well. Avoid. Avoid is a response strategy which completely eliminates the risk from the root. So the risk is not going to happen. Whichever cause could let the risk happen, that cause has been completely removed altogether. In other words, in the risk management language, the avoid strategy would make the probability to occur for that risk equal to 0. So that risk after applying that avoid strategy is definitely not going to happen. And when it is not going to happen, then definitely it's not going to negatively impact you. So avoid may demand a change of plan, may demand a change of critical path, or may demand some additional resources or additional budgets, some, more contingencies or more reserves, but for the proactive elimination of that risk, not the reactive elimination of the risk. So although you are keeping some contingencies and reserves for this risk, you are utilizing those contingencies and reserves when the risk occurs, not to let that risk occur, right? So this is also not avoid, which warrants that the correct answer to this question is accept. Accept is a response strategy which is there in threats and opportunities both. And in both cases, the accept response strategy would work in a reactive manner. So this response strategy would apply to the risks which are dealt in a laid back manner or in a not so proactive manner. So you accept the risk, as the name suggests. You are going to accept the risk. You are going to show your tolerance towards that risk, and you are going to take care of that risk after that risk, in case of threat, is going to become issue, or in case of opportunity, it's going to become lost opportunity. After that, probably you are going to fix it or you are going to take care of it, but not in a proactive manner, right? So this scenario is going to, this risk scenario is going to be dealt with accept strategy, because the project manager is keeping some reserves for the risk only when the risk occurs. After the risk has occurred, then those reserves could be utilized, but not to prevent or to reduce the chances or impact of that risk, right? Which would be mitigate or avoid. So this is accept, and accept has two types as well: active acceptance and passive acceptance. In passive acceptance, you are just accepting the risk without any owner, without any response plan or any kind of any kind of management. You are just qualifying the risk in the risk register, and you are just sitting on it. You are just waiting and watching, and you are not doing anything active in that regard. Then there is an active acceptance as well, which is what the scenario is about. The scenario is about active acceptance. In active acceptance, you again are not doing anything beforehand to prevent or reduces the chances or impacts of that risk, but you are keeping some contingencies and reserves in the form of budgets or resources or schedule. In case the risk occur, then those contingencies are going to be utilized, which is active acceptance, right? So this is particularly a scenario of active acceptance, or generally the scenario of acceptance. I hope you like this video. If you do, please do let us know in the comment area. I will be back very soon with another PMP scenario. Till then, take care. Goodbye.